Jamaicans from all walks of life.
We must save energy and help the Jamaican economy.
Energy saving, we say.
Today.
Ease up on the energy,
Serious about reducing electricity consumption within the public sector. Government's energy efficiency and conservation program is reaping success.
We have a cumulative of about 80 million Jamaican dollars in savings to date.
And greater savings is expected as the program extends to other government buildings. We have the update in today's show. Plus, safeguarding your personal data in a cyber-connecting age. I'm Adrian Atkinson, and you're watching Jamaica Magazine. Welcome.
Allow me to clarify a statement made in Parliament on Tuesday, October 27th about premature babies. I would never disregard the life of any human being. I simply wanted to convey that premature babies are more susceptible to infection. I am before you, not only as the Minister of Health, but also a father who could not begin to imagine losing my child. And my niece Shalema was born premature, so I personally understand. I want to express my sympathies to the families affected and apologize to them and all Jamaicans.
Good day, I'm Stacey Ann Smith, and this is your GIS News for Thursday, October 29. The Ministry of Health is reporting that there have been no new infections of the two bacteria that killed 19 newborn babies over the past 2 weeks. The ministry's chief medical officer, Dr. Marian Bullock-Ducasse, says the last new infections of Klebsiella and Serratia at the University Hospital and Cornwall Regional Hospital were in mid-October.
I'm happy to report that in terms of infections, we have not seen any new infections at our hospitals. And for the Cornwall Regional Hospital, the last case was seen on the 14th of this month, and for the University Hospital, the 15th.
At Wednesday's Jamaica House media briefing, Dr. Ducasse also revealed that the ministry had moved swiftly to control one case of bacterial infection reported by the St. Anne's Bay Hospital on Tuesday. She said a team of senior personnel from the ministry's head office was dispatched to the facility.
This team is currently at the St. Anne's Bay Hospital conducting an assessment and to ensure that the appropriate recommendations are in place. This, I should point out, is not an outbreak. This is one case that has been identified, and it was appropriately reported through our survey and system channels, and therefore we were able to respond immediately.
The chief medical officer expressed condolences to families of the babies who died from infections at UWI and Cornwall Regional. She assured that the Health Ministry's technical team continued to work with teams in the institutions to prevent any new infections and to ensure the best outcomes for newborns. The north-south leg of Highway 2000 is still on track to be completed early next year. Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller led a tour of the project Wednesday and expressed satisfaction with the level of work completed so far. She also praised the fact that a reported 1,000 Jamaicans were helping to execute the work.
I'm extremely pleased that the majority of workers are Jamaican workers. And I've seen some work that have been done by the Jamaicans that I'm sure it's new skills being passed on to our people by the Chinese. And I think that is also very impressive.
In the meantime, Managing Director of the National Road Operating and Constructing Company, Ivan Anderson, explained that the toll plaza at Mount Rossa would be removed and replaced by the exit plaza at Treadways to make way for new toll arrangements on the highway.
So along the highway, there won't be any toll plazas. You won't drive through any toll plaza anymore. At the start, you get a ticket, and wherever you exit, you'll pay your toll. It's much more efficient.
The north-south highway runs from Caymanas in St. Catherine to Ocho Rios in St. Anne. Contracts totaling $8.73 million have been signed to facilitate the upgrading of 6 wastewater treatment facilities in Kingston, St. Catherine and Clarendon. $5 million of the amount will fund the decommissioning of the Acadia, Bay Farm Villas and Huenden facilities and related works. The remaining $3.73 million is for the rehabilitation of the Blackwood Gardens system and the De La Vega City wastewater ponds in St. Catherine, as well as the Lionel Town wastewater treatment lagoon in Clarendon. Portfolio Minister Robert Pickersgill says the projects will improve the operational efficiency of the treatment plants, reduce contamination of groundwater, and meet national effluent standards.
The projects will also improve service levels and increase customer satisfaction to the citizens of communities, which will benefit and will ensure the proper treatment of sewage received by these facilities in order to minimize the adverse impact on the environment and public health.
The contractor is Surrey Paving and Aggregate Company, and the work is part of the Caribbean Regional Fund for Wastewater Management, or CREW project. The National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, is to get 70 new garbage compactor trucks within the next 6 to 8 months to improve garbage collection and disposal. Information Minister Senator Sandra Faulkner says Cabinet has approved a contract for the purchase at a cost of €1.97 million.
There is an urgent need to replenish the NSWMA's fleet. Renault garbage compactors have proven more reliable than others, as spare parts for these vehicles are easily accessible locally.
Minister Faulkner says while the NSWMA has 52 units for the collection and disposal of domestic and commercial waste, it needs a fleet of 172 trucks to operate at optimal efficiency. And finally, government is moving ahead to implement the Electoral Commission of Jamaica's campaign financing recommendations to prevent corruption and improve transparency. Cabinet this week gave approval for campaign finance reform legislation to be introduced in Parliament. A bill was subsequently tabled in Parliament this Tuesday to amend the Representation of the People Act, which is to be debated in the coming week.
Among some of the specific amendments provided for in the bill are restrictions to political spending with a view to preventing corruption, promotion of political equality, and keeping influence of special and private interests under control, preventing the control of government and the use of power for private benefits, and provision of transparency and accountability of elected officials.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stacey Ann Smith. Thank you for watching.
Guys, when I'm ready.
Ready a long time. Let's go. Ready, Mona?
Yeah. Oh, Shelly, I have a file for you for tomorrow, okay?
All right.
I'm going to leave it on your desk.
Sure, go right ahead.
But Shelly,
You don't shut down the computer.
But it not gonna do nothing.
but of course, when you leave it on, it burns excess energy.
I say go?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you know that the country foots the bill to import the fuel that produces electricity? Let's all play our part to conserve on energy by ironing once per week, unplugging all appliances when not in use, and avoid keeping the refrigerator open for a long period of time when removing food. Get smart. Don't get left in the dark.
The government's Energy Efficiency and Conservation Program has so far recorded about $80 million in savings on electricity bills. 40 public sector entities are benefiting from the program, and the government is extending it for another 2 years to complete all government buildings. Let's hear more about the project.
Since 2011, the government has set out to reduce its energy expenditure, and with a loan of $20 million from the Inter-American Development Bank, the Energy Efficiency and Conservation EEC program was activated. The program identified areas within the public sector that are to benefit from energy efficiency opportunities. Energy audits were carried out on several government buildings. The findings revealed savings of approximately $100 million if the recommended retrofits are undertaken. This covers the following areas:
retrofitting of air conditioning units, old and inefficient air conditioning units, the replacement of different types of lighting in the various office buildings, application of what's called solar control film to the windows, and the application of cool roof solutions to the roof of the various facilities.
As the work got off to a start, cool roof application and the tinting of windows were applied to several government buildings, including the Office of the Prime Minister, the National Housing Trust, and the Bureau of Standards Jamaica. The procedure is to significantly reduce the heat on the buildings.
Those sets of retrofits are continuing today. The solar control film, the majority of that was completed over a 10 to 12 month period. The cool roof was completed as well.
Having done the building envelope retrofits, the air conditioning needs would be considerably lower now that the buildings are much cooler. So the next step is assessing the current air conditioning configuration, and where there is inefficiency, corrective measures are taken.
The air conditioning retrofits, those have been progressing, and those continue to progress through to today. We started with the Jamaica Information Service. We also did work at KPH, Victoria Jubilee Hospital. We are still doing work at the Mobile Revenue Center in Montego Bay, and we are completing work at the Don Sangster building downtown.
In addition to replacing the units, part of the Energy Efficiency Conservation Program is the implementation of a management system that will automatically turn off or lower the temperature on air conditioning units when no one is occupying the room, and do the same for lights. The aim is to use cooling and lighting only where it is absolutely necessary. Serious about cutting its electricity bill significantly, the government also set out to address the need for more efficient lighting across government entities. With all these drastic changes, public sector workers were brought on board to promote the conservation of energy within their respective ministries and agencies.
In doing so, the government was able to design a program, along with the assistance of the IDB, to target not only the institutions themselves, but also the employees, to bring them on board and to have them trained in energy conservation methods, tips, and certain other things that the facilities managers could do, as well as the employees themselves could do. We actually have a public education campaign that we're now starting with the GIS. And that also involves not just public education, but also going into the various organizations and meeting with the staff, sharing with them some of the best practices, giving them some tips and so on, as to how they can also play a role in energy conservation.
Officers with responsibility for energy management were also trained in areas such as the importance of energy conservation to national development, the impact on the performance of government entities, and workers' role in managing government's energy assets and resources. These officers will now be able to evaluate their ministry or department's energy usage and effectively monitor and take the necessary corrective action.
The IDB, when it just started this program, said it was what they call a paradigm shift in the way government does business in Jamaica. And so we now have a cadre of people, cadre of personnel, cadre of professionals who have gone through the fire, so to speak, and know how that information, have that training, have that knowledge to be able to impart to the wider Caribbean, wider Jamaica.
The government, through the Energy Efficiency Conservation Program, is bent on making the public sector an energy-conscious model for the rest of the society.
And in terms of actual savings, measurable and verified savings, we have a cumulative of about 80 million Jamaican dollars in savings to date.
We are currently projecting to, at the end, be saving somewhere in the region of 175,000 barrels of oil for once the overall implementation, and we're talking about greenhouse gas emission savings of over 86,000 tons per year.
The JIS Heritage Essay Competition is here again. If you're a primary or preparatory school student aged 9 to 12, you may enter. Write an essay on the topic, "A Day in the Life of My Favorite National Hero." Ensure your essay is 400 to 500 words. Include a title page and list of references, with JIS being one of the sources. And submit the essay using the application form on the JIS website, jis.gov.jm. Deadline is Saturday, October 31, 2015. So start writing your essay today! For more information, contact the Jamaica Information Service at 926-374-026, extension 2137 or 2023, or email heritageessay@jis.gov.jm.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and the theme for this week is Building the Next Generation of Cyber Professionals. Government has trained over 40 management information system personnel in the public sector as it moves to establish a cyber emergency response team. The JIS was at a similar training session which looks at protecting your software from cyber threats.
Protecting your business goes far beyond securing the physical structure. It involves more than just securing goods and other assets inside the building. In this day and information age, locking your doors and hiring security personnel alone won't cut it. If you're like most businesses today, using electronic databases, doing e-commerce, an invasion by unauthorized persons could put a temporary or permanent halt to your business.
We all know what happens if when a breach happens, and sometimes you can never recover. It destroys life, information is compromised, or information is destroyed.
Today, we're talking about software protection and providing you with the information you need to better protect sensitive data. Your website has been hacked, your information stolen. You immediately think it's a weakness in your network. But according to research from the U.S. National Institute of Standards, 92% of all security breaches occur because of application or software vulnerabilities and not network vulnerability. In simple terms, here's what that means. This is your data. This is the application or software used to protect it. This is your network that is used to coordinate and carry out activities, and this is your business. Now, experts say your data becomes exposed when unauthorized persons or hackers get past your network and reach your software system.
Take, for example, a bank. And if this bank, who we entrust with our confidential information, coming through the front door of the bank, certainly need to protect that. Getting past the teller, certainly need to protect that. But imagine now you get the information about you and I. This is the area we are concentrating on.
And rightly so, because this level of breach and exposure of not only customers' private information, but information on the operation of your business can potentially cost you revenue, lead to a bad reputation, and loss of confidence. Having a well-secured software system then is a must. The best way to get the process started and achieve tangible results is to construct a security gate. This is an added reinforcement around your software, making it harder for intruders to get in.
There are some key building blocks that you need to have in your program suite to ensure that person does not get access to your programs and be able to easily manipulate them. And those are really stringent programming steps.
This gate will give you a true test of the strength of your security measures. It will also highlight security threats before they happen. Program developers play a critical role in the setup of software systems, and experts tell us that their job is not to focus solely on the usability. So proper training is important.
A big part of our educational process here is to kind of shatter those assumptions and get an orientation towards thinking about how an attacker thinks. They have a completely different view of these applications. Their view is completely different. They're looking not for functionality, but for vulnerabilities.
At a recent government-endorsed secure software development lifecycle training seminar, young professionals were brought up to speed with global and national threats and how to incorporate advanced technology in their applications.
It's important at all times as ICT professionals that you always upgrade the skills that you have and you ensure that you are at the cutting edge in terms of not just local developments but global developments. And certainly in an industry which changes as rapidly as this one does, it is even more important to be at the forefront of the industry.
Seminar participants were also given a refresher on the dangers of complacency, the risks for businesses and individuals who relax and think their network is safe.
Let me give you a really good example. The most common password used today is password. The second most common password is 123456. And so as a developer, if you assume that somebody's password is secure, and yet you've got a significant portion of your users using the same password, i.e. password, then that provides an open door for an attacker to use those accounts to attack your system.
The internet has revolutionized how we operate in the world, right? And what it has done is that bad and good. It has created all this window of opportunities and a window to your business. But what it allows easily now is someone to come to your website and to gain access from that website to your core business software that run in the business.
And so, organizations, especially state entities, are encouraged to build an awareness among staff and their key stakeholders to build and coordinate security measures with their ICT partners. It's now up to you to ensure that you constantly evaluate your software security and create a plan for long-term protection. Don't be caught napping. Get software security conscious. Protect your business.
Life is all about making decisions, choosing from a number of options to do a particular thing, which may result in a specific outcome.
It can be difficult, but there are 4 things you can do to help make that decision.
Stop. Check out what's happening and remind yourself to think before acting.
Think. Make sure you're aware of the choices, all the advantages and disadvantages. Then think about the consequences.
Act. Choose the best option and do something about it.
Review. Finally, review what you have done and determine if it was good or bad. That way, you'll be in a better position to make the next decision, whether big or simple.
Up next, looking out for our farmers, providing an environment for them to produce and reap the benefits of their labor.
Farmers, let us be serious about praedial larceny. It is affecting all of us. If you are aware of incidents of praedial larceny, make contact with your local police station or call Crime Stop at 311. Praedial larceny is everybody's business.
And the Praedial Larceny Prevention Unit is doing more than just talking about the problem. They're actually in the field, working with farmers to protect their livelihood from praedial thieves. The agriculture sector suffers losses of $6 billion each year due to praedial larceny. The theft of their produce and farm animals is robbing farmers of significant income. It's also putting the public at risk of health complications caused by unfit meat and crops. For example, crops that might have been sprayed just before the theft or animals slaughtered in unsanitary conditions. But with the establishment of the Praedial Larceny Prevention Unit in March, agricultural security is being heightened.
The persons who are stealing, the persons who are committing the act of praedial larceny, or as we call it, farm terrorism, once we find you, we will ensure that we take swift action, swift and decisive action in terms of prosecutions.
The unit is headed by members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force and is housed at the Agriculture Ministry. They have been applying strategies that represent a model for success.
Since the establishment of the unit, we have formed strategic alliances. We have been doing operations monthly, at least 4 operations monthly, geared at going after praedial thieves, setting up strategic vehicular checkpoints along the roadway in the different parishes, just to ensure that we enforce the Agricultural Produce Act, Praedial Larceny Act, the Unlawful Possession of Property Act, and all of those acts that we use to support our fight against praedial larceny. We have also been forming strong relationship across the island with farmers to give them that sense of security, to remove that perception that, hey, we're facing some significant challenges and nobody is doing anything. So we ensure that we are there for the farmers in relation to court cases. Whenever they are going before the court, we ensure that we attend court and we are there with them just to show that sort of support.
Operations conducted between March and June 30 of this year revealed major achievements by the unit. These include the recovery of over 170 assorted animals.
Unrelenting, we have been able to arrest a total of 65 persons. We have amassed a total of 94 breaches from those arrests, and persons have been charged for different offenses. And we're talking about unlawful possession of property under the Praedial Larceny Act, under the Public Health Act.
In relation to the fines, I can remember the largest fine, based on memory, comes under the Food and Drug Act, where persons were selling food that is not fit for human consumption. And the fine for that single offense was $40,000. And we charge about 7 or 8 persons for that offense.
Over 4,000 pounds of assorted meat not certified by the Public Health Inspection Division were removed and destroyed by the unit. It is this level of action by the Praedial Larceny Prevention Unit that is assuring the farmers and the general public that government is serious about protecting the sector from farm theft.
We are hell-bent on going after the major players that are contributing to this praedial larceny problem. And these are mainly the end users, the persons who are purchasing the stolen produce. If we can dismantle that market, then of course we will significantly disrupt praedial larceny and praedial thieves in terms of their operation. The farmers are now at a place where they realize that something is being done, that somebody is listening to their cry and their plight and is willing to do something in response to what they are facing. They are feeling that sense of security. They are feeling that sense of somebody is there to protect our interests. They are feeling that sense of we can now invest in this sector because something is being done as it relates to praedial thieves who have played the sector for so long.
And so with each passing day, the task of ensuring that sustainable development takes place in the agricultural sector is being enforced by ensuring that farmers are provided with security and see justice when criminals attack their livelihood. This is where we say so long, but please join us again tomorrow, same time, same station, for another insightful program. Until then, keep the link via our website, jis.gov.jm. We welcome your feedback, so keep sending your comments to JamaicaMagazine@gis.gov.jm or a tweet at JIS News. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Pleasant viewing.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.